So, Luke Skywalker, there's no doubt about it that this character is by far one of the most beloved characters in the Star Wars franchise, except, of course, for what happened with The Last Jedi. That was such a highly criticized movie. We have seen the amount of positivity from the fandom of what Peyton Reed was able to do by directing The Mandalorian Season 2 finale, and how Favreau and Filoni were involved in writing that episode. And not just that, but with the Book of Boba Fett, I believe it was episode 6, if my memory serves correct, where Luke pops up on the world of Ossus, training Grogu and meeting with Ahsoka again. It's just such a great episode by Dave Filoni. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars updates. Also, by the way, guys, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support. It is greatly appreciated. Now, one thing that, of course, a lot of fans have really been looking forward to is what George Lucas is bringing to the table to help out with Jon and Dave. We already know that Lucas has signed on for a pretty interesting deal with Star Wars by Disney by becoming a co-writer for some episodes of certain projects coming out, as well as a co-writer for some new Star Wars movies on the horizon, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. Now, the thing about Favreau and Filoni, and what they are about to do with Luke Skywalker in The Mandalorian Season 4, is just mind-boggling. So in case you guys did not know, The Mandalorian Season 4 has been in the works for well over 4 months now. With, of course, writing of the script, storyboarding, concept art, all that fun pre-production stuff, right? Has really been moving along very smoothly with no delays or setbacks or bumps in the road or anything like that. There's a lot of great things coming out of The Mandalorian Season 4. And so, what Jon and Dave are about to do with Luke in, of course, that new season, slated for release during holiday season of 2024, is actually quite revolutionary. Now, with, of course, Favreau and Filoni and how they're already planning out the ending of Mando 4, in order to have an open-ended ending in case they want to develop a 5th and or 6th season, whether or not Mando 4 actually succeeds. Meanwhile, Kathleen Kennedy is getting ready to wrap filming for Skeleton Crew. However, Favreau is getting ready to do something big for Luke Skywalker in The Mandalorian Season 4 design-wise, that has already been storyboarded and finalized to be used in the script. Now, most recently, Favreau finalized a storyline for the 4th season that is set to involve a lightsaber battle between both Ahsoka Tano and Luke Skywalker, facing a new mysterious dark side warrior that wields a crimson saber that once belonged to a Sith Lord in the old Republic age. However, during this battle, Luke Skywalker is said to be wearing a high-end piece of Jedi armor that he recovered during his adventures of discovering Jedi lore. Now, this set of armor that Luke is wearing is said to be Jedi armor from the age of the High Republic era of the franchise. Let me pause here quickly for a second. Now, I don't know if you guys ever read up on the High Republic or the books and the comics. As much as I'm not really a big fan of them, I read them anyway, just so I can have a good judgment on that particular era and how it compares or contrasts to all the other eras of Star Wars, right? And I would say that, in my own opinion, it's more on the low side of the list. But one thing that it does have going for it is different designs of Jedi, different designs of Jedi lightsabers, and all the like. And some of which involves Jedi armor. Now, as you all know, Luke has a past with Tar, or not Tar, but with, of course, Tar Vizsla holds a link between the Jedi armor of the High Republic and, of course, what Jedi armor Luke has actually been discovering over the years. There is a link between that and Tar Vizsla that we will be discovering, of course, later on in the upcoming Star Wars lore. However, Lor San Tekka, who worked well with Luke, always went on these adventures to uncover Jedi lore from across the galaxy. So, with that being said, alright, we already know that there's a lot of things on the horizon by Favreau and Filoni on changing Luke Skywalker and evolving the character, trying to find ways to truly give him, a different path in the Star Wars universe. And this is by far one of the biggest leaps to change Luke Skywalker design-wise. is that they are going to be giving him this armor on the battlefield in Mando 4. Now, let's jump into the design. Now, this is said to be the only major reference that Favreau plans to make to the High Republic in Mando as a series. The armor is said to strongly mimic that of a knight from medieval times, with a blue printed Jedi Order logo on the front of the chest plate. This armor is said to have been modified by Luke to his proper fitting that is used in battle against this dark side warrior while fighting alongside Ahsoka Tano. One of the storyboards illustrates a moment in which Luke Skywalker takes off the armor once the blaster fire from stormtroopers finally ends, with both Ahsoka and Luke now facing off the Darksider 2-on-1 on a world that is near similar to that of Takodana from The Force Awakens. The battle is planned to be very intense and fast-paced, like in the prequels to a degree. So once again, just a quick recap there. This battle takes place on a world that heavily mimics Takodana. So, a very woodsy looking planet, right? Very jungle-esque looking to a degree. More so like a forest, I guess is the more accurate description. And what I like about this is that Luke kind of changes, appearances in this planned story for Mando 4. Where he's wearing the armor, stormtroopers are firing at both Luke and Ahsoka, the armor protects him from the blast of fire, so that he can focus more so on this new dark side warrior. Again, we're not quite sure who this dark side warrior is. It could very well be an Inquisitor that survived. It could very well be somebody like Kylo Ren, who is not a Sith, that just is a dark side user. It could be something like that. It could also just be somebody who is Force sensitive, who taps into the dark side a little bit and has, a cause to fight for the right way. Now, when you look at this, though, given that Favreau and Filoni want to change Luke's appearance design-wise, I think it really is kind of contrasting of what they did in the comics, where they gave Luke a yellow lightsaber. You guys may recall in the comics, I think like a year ago, they gave him a yellow saber before the events of, I believe it might have been Return of the Jedi, maybe The Empire Strikes Back. It was before one of those movies in canon where Luke actually gets a yellow saber. Alright? So this is really taking things up a notch by giving him Jedi armor from the High Republic era and really just giving him that extra protection while fighting this dark side user while stormtroopers are blasting at him. I like this. I think it's going to be a very interesting, look for Luke, and it's going to be very interesting to see how Favreau establishes that. It does kind of fit in with the Mandalorian theme and how they can really utilize that with Luke Skywalker in battle, so I kind of respect that to a degree. But again, this is said to be the only reference by Favreau that he is planning to make for the High Republic era, and that's it. That's of course his strictness with this. He doesn't really want to reference High Republic material too much. So anyways guys, with that being all done and said, drop a comment below. Let me know what you guys have to say about all this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.